Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Hurricane of Football YouTube channel. Today is a special episode. Today we are doing a review of the Champions League final that just occurred between PSG and Arsenal. The match ended with a penalty shootout, and obviously Arsenal lost. So firstly, I'd like to obviously congratulate PSG, but that's not what we are here for. We are here to laugh at Arsenal. We are here to be happy that Arsenal did not win 2 trophies this season. Thank
Speak
God
for
for
yourself.
this.
Speak
Thank
for
God for
yourself.
this. Oh
I'm
no no
I'm
no no!
I'm honestly disappointed they lost. I'm honestly disappointed they lost. I wanted them to win.
Hey, if you
I
knew
wanted them
any
to win.
Arsenal fans, they'll be comparing Havertz to R9 right now. I'm not
I
even
know
exaggerating.
Arsenal fans
I'm
are
not
the
even
losers.
exaggerating.
So I don't take what they say seriously, but I mean I wanted them to win.
Nah.
Come, coming to the final after 20 years and then to lose it the way they did, it's not like they
Yes,
played badly. For
it
me, it
makes
was
it
painful to
all
watch.
the more satisfying. All the more satisfying. They waited 20 years and they still couldn't get it. Thank God
That's
for
what is
that.
painful. But
So,
let's let's start with the match itself. The match for the first half, I would say first half, Arsenal were better than PSG. Well, they're not. I'm not saying they're not better. They're not better, but PSG didn't really know what to do. After Arsenal scored, Arsenal sitting behind. PSG didn't know what to do. A lot when they're putting a lot of crosses, most because they don't have like a central striker who is fixed and what's the name gets physical with the defenders. When you cross the ball, nobody else in the box. They're just making crosses um to empty spaces basically because Dembele was dropping deep inside them. Nobody was making any rounds to track the ball across inside. So it was pretty easy for us now to defend against them. But I'll say one thing that the referee was a bit sass. The way I don't know, like every small 50-50, every small 50-50 we went PSG's way. Like I think maybe I could promise. I feel like the first half only 2 or 3 went Arsenal's way. Every small 50-50 seemed to be going PSG's way. To the point I was starting to get a bit annoying, honestly, because even like the moment the PSG player starts, they fall down, then he boosts them. Like, if Arsenal players, then he waves on and nah, it was getting a bit annoying. But then the second half came, PSG were not really doing it. It was still the same pattern until I would say the 60th, around the 60th minute, the attack was a bit more aggressive and Mosquera down the circular penalty. Mosquera tripped Kvaratskhelia got a penalty. Then they scored them. From then, they seem to have more control. The attacking attacks were more. Um, Even though they attacked more, they actually didn't really have created a lot of chances to score. Except the few ones where Barcola ran, a frustrating player. He ran. He was just he and David Raya. He managed to let David Raya come for the ball and they were all over the place. They were all over the place.
now, but with that, David Raya made a good decision because if Barcola hadn't pushed the ball that far, I think Saliba had a good chance of catching up to him or something like that. So I think it
He's a
was a
frustrating player that there are a lot of times where he seemed to like he's getting one chance to the keeper and he just misses it back. Yeah, extra time came. I feel like both teams started to settle and they'll go for penalties. One advantage PSG had over Arsenal is that Arsenal most of the substitutes they brought on didn't have an impact on the game. Gyökeres was not holding out the ball well, and Madueke he didn't really have much of an impact apart from that decision where they argued that it was whether it should have been a penalty or not. For me, I mean, it could have been given, but the referee didn't give it, so I don't think there's any need to complain about it. Both teams, after the second half of extra time, both teams just said that they're going for penalties. Both teams stopped really trying to attack. But
yeah.
penalty be penalty.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like even before the match started, both teams would have entered that game with the same mindset or the same gameplay. Both of them would have loved to sit back and counter. And when Arsenal scored, it was locked. They were going to sit back. If they had to sit back the entire 90 minutes, that's what they would do and counter attack. And for what your point for PSG crossing the ball, I feel like even if PSG had Gonzalo Ramos or even any striker in the box, it wouldn't even still be like as effective because look at Arsenal centre backs. Let's talk of their
No, but at
midfielders
least
also.
they would have when they crossing the ball, at least they would have had somebody to cross to. When the first time when they crossing the ball, nobody was there.
Yeah,
Just crossing for crossing sake. And
yeah, and
you talk.
yeah, okay. So basically, I feel like the box or Arsenal's box was crowded. So like crossing was not necessarily going to be the way for them to like break the deadlock or something like that. But it was how they did it in the second half for Kvaratskhelia, moving the ball quickly, quick movements off the ball. That was going to be like how PSG would have got back into the game. How Arsenal defended very well. To be honest with you, that's their main strong suit. So they utilized this very well, but unfortunately PSG overpowered them in the second half. It was inevitable. You feel like they've set PSG back. They've prevented PSG from creating a chance the whole game. But like PSG with that level of attacking power, it almost felt inevitable. They would have definitely had like a good chance. They would have created a chance from somewhere with the type of attacking quality they have. So that penalty from Kvaratskhelia, even Mosquera, was it Mosquera that caused
Yeah,
the penalty?
Moscow.
Yeah, Mosquera. After how I don't want to complain about this, but like, couldn't that have been like a second yellow and a red
It could,
card
but
for
I feel
no?
like the referee didn't want it to be a final where he's the whole sense of a
Yeah,
player, then they end up saying that he ruined the final and stuff. That's why I feel like he didn't
yeah.
give it. As PSG
Especially
scored for the final, PSG scored from the penalty, so nobody really complained anyway.
so yeah, I feel like it went how you would expect it to go. You wouldn't think it would have been like maybe people would have expected PSG to be more free flowing, but against Arsenal, you know Arsenal would defend well. But if Arsenal hadn't scored earlier, the game would have been even more cagey than it already was because both of them would have loved to sit back and counter. So maybe later in the game, that's when the game would have opened up. And it did open up later after PSG scored. And even after it opened up stuff, Arsenal didn't really create that many
Yeah,
chances.
I feel
I
like
think,
Arsenal's attack was very disappointing. Sad, Saka, even Havertz, even though
yeah,
he scored his goal,
Saka was disappointing. Yeah,
Arsenal's attack were so bad that that's how they can only had one shot on target.
yeah,
Where I think maybe the positive of them maybe losing this final, they see that the attack is not as strong as their defense, and maybe they need more reinforcement. I feel like they should let players like Martinelli,
yep,
Leandro Trossard,
definitely
they
Martinelli.
should sell them. I feel like Martinelli doesn't really offer that much. He's quick and all, but when it comes to big moments, when PSG are calling play like Gonzalo Ramos, if you're calling on Martinelli to come and save you, you know you have a problem. Honestly, I feel like this shows them that their attack is not that strong. They need at least they need reinforcement. If they can get someone like Barcola down for their left wing, I think it's better than Trossard. Trossard has done one for the club since they
Nah,
signed him from Brighton, but they need an upgrade.
you yourself said Barcola is a fresh. I don't think
Yeah,
getting a young player would.
but they need
They need
how many?
someone who is
But
more
if
established.
at least they need someone who creates chaos, and
Yeah,
Barcola is better at beating his man, and with the finishing at least he can improve. Dembele, he's still inconsistent with shooting. At least his finishing has improved compared to when he was at Barcelona. So at least
that's
if you sign Barcola, you know that there's a high chance he can improve that. And at least even if he doesn't necessarily become a winger who scores about 15 goals or 20 goals, he can beat his man, put in crosses for a striker and create chances. Trust Martinelli at some point, I even forgot was in the match. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of attacking contributions Martinelli did. He was not that effective in the match. Had half chances. They're not looking at a chance for him. All the ball was just for him to hold up and try and link up to someone.
yeah.
And he was not really doing that well because they're not getting a lot of the 50-50 fouls. That tactic also didn't seem effective.
Yeah, but also one low-key understated player in that game was William Patrick. I feel like he was very immense for the little time that Arsenal were able to attack. He was always there. He was like blocking interceptions, clearances. He seemed like and when the ball was played long to Havertz didn't have that time to control it and or get other players into the
Yeah,
game because of
that what was the name? Route they're trying to go from it wasn't effective. I feel like they should have changed it. Most of the
yeah.
long balls that Raya was playing, they're not holding it up. I think they should have changed. But the thing is, Arsenal's attack, like I said, is not that good. When they brought Martinelli on, didn't really have a drastic impact. Eke
Yeah,
was okay, but it
I
didn't.
was so confused why he thinks Martinelli is a better option to come on instead of Izzy. Even though Martinelli you'd argue is a faster player, but like Izzy is a much more intelligent player when it comes to
But I feel
creating
like
chances.
honestly, he's 60. I don't want to be putting pressure, but better he is good in dreaming. Like I said,
Oh, Dowman.
At least somebody that have brought a bit more, be willing to take on. Okay, maybe part of why you didn't see the best of Martinelli because Arsenal never didn't really have the ball. Because Arsenal didn't, most of the ball was conceded to PSG, and the thing too is because they got the defending very deep. When they on all the occasions they got the ball, they couldn't really counter because nobody was there to
Serve as an outlet.
utilize it. Yeah, but honestly, Martinelli, I feel like Arsenal, he has not been good for Arsenal since for me that season where he had I think 15 goals. That
Yeah,
season where
15 goals or something like that.
yeah, even
Yeah.
Odegaard was a bit disappointing. Odegaard was a bit disappointing.
See, I don't even want to hear this comparison about Odegaard and Bruno. Sorry for bringing it to Manchester United, but like they would never serve Bruno in the Champions League final, even if he calls an own goal and give
Odegaard
the
has
ball
tried.
away.
He has not been that good since I think I would say that 2022-2023 season. They all seem to have he Martinelli, they have all seem to have regret a bit.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, it is a lesson for us now, and maybe you build up from there. Hopefully not. But
But we can't go without talking about PSG. The team that
oh
actually
yeah,
won it.
yeah, yeah.
They
PSG.
they have become the French team to go back to back. Luis Enrique has won 3 Champions Leagues now, the same number as Pep Guardiola, which is crazy when you think about that. Pep Guardiola only won 1 Champions League with Manchester City. And that within that 10 years, he only won one with Manchester City. And he has done something that many managers can't see. That I'm going back to back. Even Luis Enrique, for him, feels like a redemption act because many people feel like that his Barcelona team that won the Champions League in 2015 was carried by Messi. That he didn't really coach them per se. He felt like the best players were just doing it for him. He was just taking it back. With these last 2 trophies with PSG, it shows that he's actually a good man. Also because when he was in Spain, they flattered to deceive at the World Cup. They scored a lot of goals. I forgot one of them. I think they scored like was it 7 goals or so in the World
Yeah.
Cup, the 2022 World Cup. But then crashed out to Morocco. So people felt like people didn't really view him as a good coach. Since going to PSG and since winning back-to-back Champions League, he has shown as one of the best coaches around. PSG are lucky to have him. And
Yeah.
one side note, laughing at Mbappe, he left. He
Again, I
left.
was literally going to talk about Mbappe right now. I was literally going to mention
He
Mbappe.
left PSG and they did the two. But I went to Real Madrid. Real Madrid have gone without winning. But they'll tell you
A
that
trophy
nah.
2 seasons in a row.
So yeah, this was just the review of the Champions League. Let us know what you think. And Arsenal fans, it's not a bad season. They still won the Premier League. United can say they won a trophy. They can hold on that we won the Bruno assist trophy. That's the only thing they can talk about.
That's why. See, it's not even convenient. I even supported them to take the Premier League because we were not competing. But next season, you see something. If Manchester United
I've
is
been
not in the
hearing this thing since
Champions League final,
SHS. No, this
if
this this
relax,
this competing since we are in SHS. We have been
listen to
talking
this.
about.
If Manchester United is not in the Champions League final next season, call me Abner. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You'll be lucky if you even make round of 16. This thing about United are back. This thing about
With
United are
Bruno
back.
in the team,
Why
with
Bruno?
Bruno in the
Why
team.
Bruno Fernandes was in the team when he lost Europa League final to Villarreal?
No. Since Messi and Ronaldo,
No.
who
You
has been a
haven't seen
better
that.
player than Bruno? Since
Wasn't
Messi
Bruno
and Ronaldo,
Fernandes?
who has been a better player than Bruno? I answer that question.
He said,
Since Messi and Ronaldo,
let's be serious. Let's be serious.
best player in the
Neymar,
best player in the world. Nobody
even Mohamed
comes
Salah
close.
has been a
Nobody's
better player in the
touching
past
him.
8 years than Bruno Fernandes.
Where's Salah right now? Where's Salah right now? Come on. Nobody.
Where's Bruno Fernandes's Europa League Europa League Champions League medal? Where's his
Nah,
Premier
no, no.
League medal? No. What is his
No,
Premier
no,
League
no.
medal?
Let's not talk. He has been in Manchester United. We've hindered him a little bit.
A
Look
little
at
bit.
this
You people
season.
have hindered him.
He's
You have hindered him greatly. If you're at Manchester City, you'd have had about 15 trophies. For
and
Chelsea,
five
you'd
Ballon
have at
d'Ors.
least, if you had played for Chelsea, you'd have at least had one Champions League. If you played for
No, no,
Arsenal,
no,
you'd have
no,
had a
no,
Premier
no,
League.
no,
Even if
no,
you played
no,
for
no.
Tottenham, you would have had a Europa League.
If you put it like that, yeah, you really diss you. But see, next season when we win the Champions League, things will change.
Apple,
Next season
Apple.
when we win
They
the
all win
Champions League, and
Champions
when
League.
Portugal wins the World Cup and Bruno gets the Ballon d'Or, entering into next season,
Apple.
and we know that everything is set.
Okay, World
Then
Cup.
when
But
we
if Ronaldo keeps starting for them, never mind. They're not winning the World Cup. It's a story. The
Nah,
story
regardless of whether
when they
Ronaldo
start the World
starts,
Cup.
Bruno is in that team. Regardless of whether Ronaldo starts, Bruno is in that team. Bruno
We
is a
will,
game changer, bro.
we will
If
see in July. We will see in July who wins the World Cup.
sure.
That has been a review of the Champions League final. But we have to talk about this team first before we sign off. The fact that Liverpool was asked a lot.
Yep.
I mean, it was
And
coming the way Mohamed Salah started posting on Instagram like he had broken up with his girlfriend and everything and complaining plenty, and everybody liking his post. It was inevitable that Bahamas had to go because if more
Yeah,
than 10 players are liking a post where they are calling on the manager's play style, there's no point in keeping him. So I'm not surprised that he's gone.
yeah. I
And
was talking to a Liverpool fan this evening, and I was saying that I feel like they've piled the entire Liverpool problem on Slot somehow. Meanwhile, it's quite bigger than
yeah,
that. Because
they have scapegoated him.
yeah, to be fair to Liverpool, at the beginning of the season, nobody expected what happened to happen, like the loss to Jota and how that this like deteriorated like the beginning of their season. They were coming into that season after winning the Premier League, so you'd expect them to carry on from there. But something like that would have definitely slowed them down,
But
or
even
like
I have this question.
changed their yeah.
Look, I wonder if signing both Slot and signing both Eketike and Isak was actually Slot decision or the club decision.
It's definitely the club's decision. I
Because
don't
I
think
don't
Slot
think
will have
I'll keep saying this on today. I see them working together. They don't need both of them. I feel like
yeah
they find both of them to dump on him. I don't think
yeah.
they
And
maybe it was a club decision. It didn't help his cause. So yeah.
and like blaming him for Isaac's injuries and stuff like that. Nobody expected Isaac to get hurt or play terribly when he wasn't hurt. And Ekitike, even though he started well, not all the signings were good. Even
Jeremy
Vets
Frimpong has been
Vets was
disappointing.
yeah
Kekes on and off. Florian Wirtz,
yeah.
the less said the better.
So it's a lot of, and even Salah has
Yeah,
had a
Salah.
terrible.
That's why Salah low key. He's trained Zlatan, but because he himself, his own performances have been terrible. But
Yeah
everything they kept blaming Zlatan. Well, he's the legend, so the Liverpool
yeah.
fans were obviously going to side the team. Plus, I don't. I feel like it's a bit disrespectful when people say that Salah is the one who won the league. Yeah, he had his best season ever,
Ever
but
season yeah
still without Slot because Klopp was there, he didn't have that season. So
yeah.
I don't. Well, I don't know, but well, it is what it is.
But
He's gone.
what do you think about the fact that I said to that guy I was talking to that if Liverpool had sacked him earlier, maybe they would have got Xabi Alonso instead of Chelsea. But do you think that was a
I don't think they actually
possibility?
wanted Xabi Alonso back. I think if they wanted, maybe they would have
So
gone for. I don't. Liverpool. I don't think they wanted him because if they would, I
yeah,
think they should have gone for him sooner. But they didn't really show. I feel like maybe they want a coach that plays similar to how Klopp was. That's what they want to really like. Don't the high intensity pressing and
yeah,
all those type of fast breaks type of play which Bournemouth were playing. I think maybe that's what they wanted. That's why come they are now going for a while rather than Xabi Alonso. But well, let's see how next season goes. So
yeah.
that's all for the video.
Okay. Thank you.